Hello, everybody. If you don't know me, I'm Cindy Burns, and I am a life coach for widows. I'm here today to answer some questions. If you have questions, I would love to see them. If you if you don't come up with any questions, then I will answer the ones that are most frequently asked of me. But if you have any personal questions that you'd like asked, or if you're not a widow, but someone in your life is, and you want to know better how to respond, or you have questions about how to treat her, or maybe the way she's acting, let me know. That's what I'm here for. Okay. Now I'll tell you a little bit of my story. I am a widow of 11 years. My husband Dan died August 2nd, 2011, which was exactly 10 years after my father's death on August 2nd, 2001. So August 2nd is a meaningful day for me. It's also the day that I opened up my membership, and that membership is for widows and widows only at any stage of their journey. If you're a widow who, you know, is still in the active grief, you're welcome to join. If you are a widow, you know, 5, 10 years out, but you still, want to belong to a community of widows, or you need to find your purpose. You've been just kind of floundering around, not knowing who you are or what you're supposed to be doing now that you're suddenly single. Well, no, I don't like that, because we're not single. We're still married, unless anyway. I consider myself married, but for legal purposes and all, we're widows. And what is a widow? A widow is any person any female, how do I say this? Anyone who identifies as female who has lost a partner, whether it be, a husband, a wife, a longtime boyfriend, or a fiance, any of those, even an ex-husband. You can really feel, you know, you still have some grief because of the times that you had together. So anybody like that is considered a widow, because I get asked that. And you know what? I don't have Facebook up, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get any comments from that. Let me see if I can turn it on and mute myself. And it's not showing up. You don't see me. Nope, that's not it. There we are. Okay. 2 people shared this already. Well, thank you very much. Oh, hi, Facebook user. My husband passed and I still wear my wedding rings, and I still consider myself married. I miss him so much. How long has it been? To Facebook user. It doesn't show your name here on StreamYard. So I'll keep watching that. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, when does the pain end? And that's different for everyone. The pain is kind of almost always there under everything else. You get used to living with it, and you can be happy with with that still there, because it'll pop up every once in a while on an anniversary, on a special day, or you see someone who looks like your husband, because I've had that happen. Things like that that'll bring it up. Even if you've remarried or you're dating, you're still going to think about your husband, the one you lost, and you're still going to feel that kind of emptiness that no one else can fill. But it's not always a horrible thing. It's not like the first couple weeks, months. You're not crying all the time. And it depends on everybody. Some are fine, not fine, but some have moved forward within a year. Sometimes it's 5 or 10. I would say maybe 6 months out, most widows are feeling less active grief than they were in the beginning. They can function without crying all the time. They keep their crying to their private life, like when they're home in bed alone. Yeah, that's the hardest, I think, for every widow. So there's no expiration date on grief. You will be grieving your husband forever. It gets easier to live with. You can find a rainbow at the end. Well, not at the end, but you know how you can't ever reach the rainbow? Well, that's what this is like. You're always striving forward to that rainbow. You'll never quite reach it, because reaching it means you're there with him, or you've forgotten him completely. And I can't imagine any of us doing that. Another thing I find a lot is guilt. Now, I've got another video on guilt, but let me just tie it up in a bow. Every widow feels guilt. Whether you expect to or not, you will, most likely. And for some, they live in that guilt. They never move out of that guilt. They may be feeling guilty because they could have been a better wife. They weren't with him at the time. They argued just before he died. They didn't push for more medical care. All kinds of things. For me, I felt guilty because he died of lung cancer. And we didn't go to the doctor. I mean, he'd been coughing for months, but we didn't go to the doctor till he started running a fever and just feeling completely wiped out, which was probably almost 6 months in the making. So I don't know if it would have been any different if I'd taken him when he first started the cough or not. It wasn't like he was coughing all day, all day long. It was an occasional cough, and he was taking care of it with cough syrup and cough drops. But I felt guilt in that I didn't get him to the doctor sooner, and they might have been able to do something at that time. I feel guilt that I didn't advocate for him more. I advocated for him big time. There was nothing more I could have done. I yelled at doctors. I yelled at nurses. I cried with them. I mean, they knew the yelling. My yelling is not really screaming and yelling, but I was forceful enough, and there was nothing more they could do. And I recognize that now. And how I got to this place was there's no such thing as a time machine. I cannot go back and change things or fix things. If I could, believe me, I would. But I can't. There's no way to change or fix. I can't apologize directly to him because he's not here. So why do I live in this guilt? Why is it consuming me so much? And my answer to myself was there is no reason. There really is no reason to feel that way. And even if there was, what am I going to do about it? Now, I have recommended to some widows that they write him a letter of apology, that they just talk to him out loud and tell him how you're feeling, why the guilt is there, and apologize. Don't tell me you don't talk to your husband. We all do. Even after 11 years, I talk to him. Not out loud most of the time. It's in my brain, but every once in a while, I talk to him out loud. So, yeah, ditch the guilt, please. It feel it for. I don't say shunt your feelings aside. No, all feelings need to be felt and they need to be named. You don't know how you're feeling? Go down a list. Depressed, sad, angry, happy, cheerful, relieved even. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, I was relieved when my husband died because there was no place for him in his illness here. He was miserable. He was in pain. He was going to end up needing more surgeries that wouldn't do any good anyway and would be more harmful. So, yeah, I was relieved when he died. Others may be relieved because he was an abusive alcoholic and they feel guilty about that. So, yeah, sometimes relief is there and it's okay. So, feel your feelings, name them, give in to them for a little while. When you feel that your feelings are consuming you, like one particular feeling, like you've stayed in that place for a little too long for yourself and you're ready to move out of it, we can talk. So that's kind of what we do in the membership is I will talk to you, I will help you through the stages that you're in. I will acknowledge that you're hurting, and when you are ready, I will help you move through that hurt and into a place where you're looking around and you're trying to figure out, okay, what do I do in this new life without him? You know, I'm not I don't have him. I don't have a purpose. Even if you have a job or a career that you love, you may suddenly start thinking, yeah, is this really doing anybody any good? Am I helping people this way? Is it truly my purpose? And I believe we have different purposes at different stages in our lives. And once you become a widow, it's very murky as to what to do. So I help you find that purpose through some quizzes, through community, through learning more about you and helping you learn more about your likes, your dislikes, your passions. You know, and then you will discover your purpose on your own with maybe a little bit of guidance. And it's only $15 a month. And I think we can all afford that. And while if you sign up now this month, and get the $15 because it'll probably go up in a month or two. I haven't decided. But if you join the membership now, you'll only pay $15 a month, and that will be your cost no matter how high the fees go. So you may join at $15 a month and stay with me 6 months, and in that time, somebody else, I've raised the prices, and somebody else will join at $25 a month or $30 or $35, whatever I decide on, whatever. Yeah, I'm putting a lot of time and effort into this, so it's got to be able to reimburse me. But they're going to be paying double, maybe even triple what you're paying. Your price is still $15. Their price is $40, not yours. You stay at that. You're called a founding member, and the founding members get a lot of perks. You get a free 30-minute phone call or Zoom call with me. You can use it at any time during your membership. You can use it right away or later on down the road. So I would love to have you join me in the membership. You can do that by going to www.cindyjburns.com. Okay, it's CINDY, letter J, BURNS, all smushed together.com. And the button to push is at the very bottom. If you've already made up your mind, the button to push is at the very bottom. There's one that's $15 a month, or you can join for a full year at $150 a year, or you can do private one-on-one coaching. And currently I have one package, and that's for 12 weeks. And the cost of that is $1,200, which actually for one-on-one and the ability to contact me throughout the, in between the weeks, that's a really good price. So however you want to join, we can make it work. And you can always send me a message. My Facebook name is Cindy Judd Burns. Let's see, we do have another message. I felt guilty after my husband passed because I wondered if I had taken him to emergency 8 hours earlier, would it made a difference? I realized that he had stage 4 lung and bone cancer. All it could be done was possibly extend his life a few weeks or months, and his quality of life was not good. And I worked through the guilt. Yeah, there's no reason to feel guilt about that. He already had diagnosed lung and bone cancer, I'm assuming, and was being treated for those, or he opted not to. So, yeah, there's no reason for you to feel guilty. Now, I generally try to keep these to 15 minutes. We've gone, and I actually don't. I always go over, and we're over by 5 minutes today. But please keep posting your thoughts, asking questions, and I will respond. I will respond to you. So next week, I think we might be at the same time. I'm not. Let me take a look at my calendar real quick. Next week is the 22nd. Yeah, 3 o'clock. Oh no, I've got it scheduled for 12 for noon. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know. Let me know if you like noon or 3 o'clock Eastern better. Yeah, I've got the rest of them scheduled at noon. Eventually, we'll go back to the 11:15. I like that one. Unless you guys prefer something else. So let me know. This is your group. your Facebook page. This is here for you, for your benefit. So just let me know what you need. Okay? And I thank you very much for joining me today. Oh, another. Oh, he was diagnosed and had 1 chemo treatment. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. My husband didn't have any chemo. He had radiation, but they figured he was too sick for chemo because he had pneumonia, and the pneumonia couldn't be cured because the mass was blocking it. It couldn't drain, I guess. I'm not quite sure how that worked, but they said they couldn't cure the pneumonia because the cancer was in the way. So yeah, there's things, you just do it. Do what you can. All right. I want to thank you all for joining me. If you're watching on replay, hi. And comment hashtag replay so I know. And you can ask questions then too. You don't have to be here live to ask questions. But it's nice to actually, have some interaction with real humans while I'm live. So I thank you so very much for being here, and just try to have a great week.